Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Nurul Bahia binti Amran and I am from SMK Jengke 10. Today on this fine day, I would like to present a speech entitled Child Abuse that almost every kid faces on a daily basis. I partially agree about it, and I am sure that everyone has to agree about it. Ladies and gentlemen, child abuse happens when someone is caring for a child feeling or body. It can happen to boys or girls in any family. As you know, humans in this world has become more evil than murderers. Kids nowadays often get abused by their surroundings, but they can only hide their darkest nightmare inside their small soul. We as grown-ups should not let our kids keep this feeling and torturing themselves. Child Health Blog says that the meaning of child abuse is when parent or caregiver, whether through action or failing to act, causes injury or death or risk of serious harm to a child. There are many forms of child maltreatment, including physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and neglect. Ladies and gentlemen, the first type of child abuse is physical abuse. Physical abuse means a child's body has been hurt, hitting hard with hand or an object that can leave bruises or cuts and cause pain. The example of physical abuse are internal injuries, broken bones, brain damage, lifelong injury, or even death. When kids often get abused, they will be aggressive towards their pets and peers. They will be afraid of parent and adult, and when they got bruises, they will wear long sleeve out of season. Some children who get abused will have self-destructive behavior or attitudes. The next type of child abuse is emotional abuse. Emotional abuse happens when a parent or caregiver harms a child's mental and social development or even causes severe emotional harm. For your information, emotional abuse can happen by words. There are many reasons why emotional abuse in kids happen. One of the reasons is when parent or caregiver choose to play with their favorite one, either one of the other sibling or another. When kids often get abused, they will get sleeping disorder. Next, they will turn out to be violent, cruel, do vandalism, and lying. Telling a child that he or she is unwanted or blamed, insulted, and yelled are one of the examples of emotional abuse. The next type of child abuse is sexual abuse. Studies show that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 8 boys are sexually abused before they age 18, and that approximately 1 in 20 children physically abuse each year. It's not always easy to recognize when a child has been sexually abused. If children often get abused, they will be afraid to complain because they are fearful that no one will believe them. Additionally, someone who abused them may be someone they love and want to protect. Parents are often unable to recognize the symptom of sexual abuse because they may not want to face this reality. There are many signs of child sexual abuse. One of them is having trouble with walking or sitting. Certain kids do not want to change their clothes in front of others. The worst thing that could happen is that displaying knowledge of sexual act inappropriately for their age. The next type of child abuse is child neglect. Child neglect is the failure to provide for shelter, safety, supervision, and nutritional needs of the child. There are 3 types of child neglect. The first one is the physical neglect. Physical neglect includes refusal of, delay in seeking health care, abandonment, expulsion from home, or refusal to allow a runaway to return home. This type of children need to have enough physical care to be healthy and enough supervision to be safe. Adults that care for children must provide for clothing, food, and drink. Failing to provide enough healthy food and failing to ensure personal hygiene are one of the examples of physical neglect. The next type of child neglect is educational neglect. Educational neglect includes the allowance of chronic truancy, failure to enroll a child of mandatory school age in school, and failure to attend to a special education need. Usually, educational neglect refers to a parent failing to provide for the child's basic need, regard to schooling and education. The next type of child neglect is emotional neglect. Emotional neglect includes such action as marking inattention to the child's need for affection, refusal of, or failure to provide needed psychological care. For your information, emotional neglect is difficult to identify as there are frequently no observable signs. When a parent is not emotionally attuned to a child, there is no mirror held up, no positive reflection being shared with the child. Developing a positive sense of self then become more challenging for the child. Ladies and gentlemen, if children oftenly get abused, they will get depression. Depression is a type of mood disorder. Did you know, when kids oftenly get abused, they will be scared of their surroundings. They will feel anxious toward everyone and will think to kill themselves. Even if they don't kill themselves, they will feel lonely, hopeless, and nothing is meaningful. When they can't find love from someone like parents or guardian, they will find love from someone else. The chain of happy family now is broken to pieces and from glitter to rust, and will fly and vanish in a windy thin air. Ladies and gentlemen, if you suspect a child has been abused, you should contact a pediatrician or a local child protective agency for help. Physicians are legally obligated to report all suspected cases of abuse or neglect to authorities. They can also recommend a therapist to provide information for investigators. Doctor may also testify in court to obtain legal protection for the child or also to help criminally prosecute an individual suspected of engaging in child sexual abuse. Whatever the nature of abuse, steps should be taken immediately to report the abuse and obtain help. In conclusion, we as responsible humans should know that the kids should play with the sun and not living in a nightmare. May we all can bring back the smile from our child to be a better person. Thank you, until we meet again.